Hello. The topic we'll explore together today is the 2026 Blueprint. This is a vision that reconstructs, from a social psychological perspective, the critical turning point that Korean society will face, the three sweeping waves of major crises that will unfold within it, and the great paradigm shift that is set to arrive in the Yulsa year 2026. First, let's examine the gap between the signals and the substance that we're all too likely to overlook. From the mysterious respiratory illness at the end of 2019 to Bitcoin's sudden plunge and the Russia-Ukraine war, each of these events had signs that were already pointing the way. The data that a young ascetic in Varanasi calculated mathematically, watching the flow of time as if it were a single river, proves that the crises we face today are never mere coincidence. The crisis pours down like a waterfall across three layers. First is the political void, where politics has disappeared. Second is an economic collapse where the flow of capital freezes. And finally, a social split in which even family members can't understand each other because of differences in values. These three pools are interconnected, shaking the very foundations of Korean society. From a geopolitical perspective, South Korea is like a lone stone left behind on a vast chessboard. Surrounding great powers will try to move us around on their own chessboard, taking advantage of internal turmoil. As these three waves sweep through, the eyes of neighboring countries will constantly waver between vigilance and desire. In 2026, it will be the fulcrum, the lever that drives all those changes. A great conjunction is scheduled in which Jupiter and Saturn will align for the first time in 800 years. In the summer of 2026, this bottleneck will be more than mere collapse. It will be a powerful social reset and a metamorphosis, a time of transformation that clears away the
즉
mental
바뀌는 시간이
haze that has been building for centuries. What's interesting is that prophecies that transcend the ages are pointing to the Korean Peninsula in 2026. From India's modern predictions to the writings of the Joseon dynasty, such as Gyeokum Yurak and Jengamrok, and even to Western mysticism schools, these four distinct traditions seem to be calling for the same thing. In 2026, Korea is identified as a coordinate for a spiritual and geographic turning point. So what would this catalyst, the trigger that drives such a vast change, look like? It would be different from traditional leaders who seek to preserve existing power. The messenger of this new era will be a very human being, one who has experienced failure and possesses the ability for deep empathy. What is required is paradoxical leadership that heals a nation's trauma with a warm heart rather than a sword. The structure toward integration goes through three stages. This is the opening of the bloodline, where small economic exchanges begin around the DMZ cultural osmotic pressure, which restores cultural homogeneity, and finally, political synthesis, where the two streams merge to create an entirely new social ecosystem. This will be a natural union based on the consistency of the times, not unilateral absorption. The terrain also changes. This is not a military conquest. It is the process of cosmic rebalancing, restoring the lost historical continuity, and healing the distorted geopolitical wounds. A cartography of restoration begins where boundaries blur, spread, and a natural balance is found. The four pillars of a new era are the fusion of technology, and spirit. Economic benchmarks of advanced AI. Technology, a political hub that mediates peace in Northeast Asia, and a cultural resonance, represented by Zhong and Han, spread to the world. A society in which material prosperity and spiritual depth are perfectly harmonized is the direction we should move toward. What should we do to survive these violent waves? Return to financial fundamentals that avoid excessive leverage, and strengthen the network of family and local community connections. Above all, we desperately need an attitude of curiosity, embracing the coming turmoil not with fear, but as an inevitable transformation, the one who will change Korea, as prophesied by India's prophet Guru Nanashi, the bearer of light, has 3 distinguishing characteristics: a person who has gone through 3 failures, one who, through repeated disappointment and pain, has the deep wisdom to understand others' wounds, a person who does not covet honor or power. They are depicted as someone who will stand out not in politics, but in unexpected fields, such as culture, research, or the arts. It was prophesied that this person would move the people not with force or a sword, but with sincerity in their heart. This video is a summary of a video by Kim Hyong-sok, a former philosophy professor at Yonsei University. After being rejected 3 times, H.K.Y failed several times when running for the presidential election. 3 times, but he is the creator of songs like Call Me and a pioneer in Korea's idol music scene, the person who Guru Nasi prophesied while practicing in India is the one being pieced together like a puzzle. H.K.Y, as in the prophecy that the more things become difficult, H.K.Y will be seen. He will now be gaining attention as the one who will bring matters and even the disasters affecting the entire global population out of this world and rescue them.